There we go. Now the reason I made it daytime and the reason the bed is here is because with an XP grinder, you want your mobs to spawn up in your spawning room. If it is nighttime, and there can be only so many mobs usually at a time spawned, so a lot of your mobs are going to be down on the ground spawned, and you're not going to get a good return on your XP grinder. So by having the bed here, you can always keep it daytime, so there'll be no mobs down on the ground. It'll only be anything that might be spawned in a cave down on the ground somewhere that might take away from your spawn rate, but usually the caves won't eat up your spawn rate very bad. Crafting table in case you want to make something, and a chest for putting your goods in from grinding the mobs. Well, plenty of arrows. Bones I've been using for the wheat machine, and you can replenish your stock of bones pretty easily with an XP grinder. So we got a little signage for the guys for best XP. Wait here for respawns and keep it daytime, and don't stand too close or creepers might see you, and that applies to when you're actually getting your XP. Now there's a little bit of a spoiler here, but I'm gonna put this. Oh, what's that you say? These are pistons to drive these blocks up, and it creates one less block of drop for the mobs. And what that does, it lets them drop safely, and they become a one-shot kill. See, so that zombie just came down there, and skeleton. Now, this guy is not really here. This is just kind of a server glitch where they start spawning so fast they'll actually come out, and down they come. Okay. And they glitch so bad sometimes you can actually see they'll push you around, and they can actually push you down holes and everything. They used to push me down the ladder hole back here. Sometimes they'd come right across the catwalk or down through my exit portal. So basically after that fall, they're all one-shot kills. Beat them with a stick. Now, let's assume for a moment that you don't want XP. You're here to get more bones for the wheat farm. Or you want some arrows to go hunting in the Nether, get some gas. So, you come here, you flick the lever, they drop an extra block, and now, they land, they die. And as we seen when I first got here, they just drop their items, you go in, click and get them. I don't know if you guys can see it, but the mobs will hover up around the thing. Here comes one, here comes a creeper. Here we go, oh, zombie. Creeper, there. Okay. Yeah, so that's fun. Now, one thing, if you're gonna make a flushing spawner, I gotta show you now because a lot of tutorial videos don't have this in it, that sometimes that spawn rate can go down to 0. There's a reason why, and it involves pretty much mobs cannot spawn too many in one spot, so they'll actually start spawning on the next chunk, which is like 256 blocks away, something like that. And since your game doesn't have that chunk loaded in its memory, the mobs actually become stuck and glitched out on the edges of 256 by 256 block. So there's a nice tutorial on how to fix high altitude mob spawners, and it involves this little piece of work up here that looks like an antenna array. It's 20 blocks high, and then I just pretty much went out to the same size of my spawner and cut it down the middle, and that's what it is. It's basically somehow it tricks the game into thinking that there is another platform up here for mobs to spawn on. And since there's torches up here as well, no mobs will spawn up there. But somehow, because it's at the level above your spawner, it somehow allows the spawn in here to keep going at full speed. So your spawn will never run out, it will keep going and going and going. All because of this antenna. So if you're going to build a flushing mob spawner, I'll put a tutorial link to the guy that I copied off of just add this onto his feature. And pay close attention to when he puts in the middle of his 3x3 spawn pads, he puts a half slab. That prevents spiders, because sometimes if you get a low spawn rate, it's not that they're glitching, it's that there's nothing up here but spiders. And they don't like to fall down the hole. They usually stick around and clog up your machine. So put the half slabs in, keep the spiders out, and you'll have some good XP or item farming. Okay, so that's this. You also notice I put obsidian here, again, because I'm playing with people that are new to the game, and like everyone, they're going to get tempted to come up here and say, oh, look at the pretty creeper, and the creeper's going to blow up. And at least in that way, the most the creeper is going to get are these 2 blocks and maybe the sticky pistons that's underneath. But other than that, I have everything encapsulated in obsidian, and it's going to be a lot easier to rebuild if they blow up, you know, just a railing versus the actual redstone circuitry and stuff. So that's why I did that. Oh, there we go. And there you go. Here's an example of it happening just like that. I like to keep mine in item mode, just so mobs don't build up here and glitch around. So they just come down, they die, you can get their items later. Okay, so the next addition to this is a little exit chute. I found climbing up and down a ladder to be quite tedious, so down we go. And for a safe landing, all you need is 2 water deep. And that'll break your fall well enough. Okay, and next thing on the list, we've done the enchantment room, we've done the wheat grinder, we've done the XP farm, we've done the infinite water, so we've done the house. Next thing is going to be, you're going to say, where'd you get that chest full of stone bricks, or all the cobblestone? And as many of you know, you have a good run of mining, you're going to need some tools to help you. So down in my basement, pretty standard basement, except, boom, minecarts. So this just helps me get down to my area faster. Before I go down now, I will show you this little loop that I've made. Now, this is going to depend a bit on which way your house is or your minecart tracks, because as we know, north and south orientation sometimes changes what way. If a cart were to run off this way onto the track, whether it's going to go left or right. But for this purpose up here, this is what worked, so that the carts will always come up this way and go down. If by chance a cart gets reversed, if someone's walking down this tunnel for instance and gives it a push the wrong way, it will get sped up by all the powered rails and it'll end up coming back up this way. So if that happens, it'll come down here, turn around, and get sent back on the proper way again. So that's what this one, if you need to copy it, I'll hover it over a bit. There are redstone torches buried beneath the track. Now let's see if my latency will let me get into this. There we go. Bit of frame rate drop. We'll get down the basement and hop out. Okay, this is my active mining project, which is down at level 13, I think, to the eye. Y is 13, yeah. So I know diamond spawns mainly at level 11 and 12, but when I first started my mining shaft and I went down to that level, the lava actually would pour in at that level. There's a lot of lava down here that's ready to pour in, so I came up 1 block, and as long as I clear down to the floor, I should see any diamonds, and then I dig down and get them. Here is my reversal loop down here as well. Let's see if I can show you with this guy. See, reverses, it goes back the right way. I'll do that again too. So even though this guy gets sent up the wrong way, actually he'll get bumped by the other one and come back. So that didn't really work. But needless to say, if it comes back down this way, which is the proper way, it'll come over here and it'll shoot left right away and go back up. If it comes down the wrong way, it'll come down here, loop around, cut into the side of the track. This is what I was talking about up above. The orientation depends on if it's going to go left or right. It'll cut in here and it'll go to the right and resume. So the carts will always go in the right orientation. Now, as far as my mining operation, basically I just like clear cutting. I know the whole skip to mine one thing. I just don't like strip mining like that. I like to just clear it out. And sometimes as an added bonus, you can turn your mining operation into a slime farm. Some people might be saying now, well, your ceiling is not 3 high, so you're not going to get big slimes. Well, I don't use slime balls enough that I really need big slimes. I just need a medium one every now and then, and I'll just kill that one and get a couple of slime balls off it. Now, more than likely, there probably won't be any spawned here right now, but there have been some down here, and almost reliably, if you wait around by the mine carts for like 5 minutes, and if they're going to spawn, they'll spawn. And if you notice as well, I'm very anal over having lots of light because I'm just not interested in having any spawns down here. So I usually get a bit overzealous and overdo the torching, but it helps out because there's never any mobs down here as well. Okay, so that's that. Let's see if we can get on a cart here now. I'll head back up. Yep, okay. Alright, so that's my minecart track and my mine.